With 6 races to go in this open season, Felipe Massa has been back in Maranello, working with the team. And he explains how he prepares for the double header, which sees Formula One race in Japan and Korea, while looking back at past races at these tracks. Felipe, how does one take the Japan-Korea back-to-back? Apart from adapting to a different time zone, is there a need for any special tricks or specific preparation to take these 2 races?
Well, I think the preparation is more or less similar as other races. The only difference is that Suzuka is a very difficult track on the physical point of view, more in the muscles point of view. So you have a lot of high-speed corners, and it makes the track more difficult in this point. So I think the work is even stronger on the preparation, not just as other tracks, but stronger in the muscles. So I think we're working a lot more on the neck, especially a lot on the heart as well, running a lot. So. But I think it's more a muscle track, and I think the preparation is stronger than the others. And also you need to prepare the time. I mean, it's a very long place compared to very long traveling, you know, compared to other races as well. And you have the race in Japan, but also straight away the next race in Korea. So I think this is also a very important preparation to go a bit before and get used with the time and everything, which is important.
At Suzuka in 2006, you took pole position. What does it feel like being the quickest on one of the most technical and spectacular tracks of the calendar?
Well, I think it's very important because Suzuka is a very difficult track. It's a very historical track that driver can make the difference there, and is a track that you need to be very aggressive on the high-speed corners. So I think be the quickest in Suzuka is definitely very nice and very important as a driver. And it was also a nice race. Unfortunately, I had a problem with my tires. I had to stop very early, much earlier than what I was supposed to stop. And I lost the position to Alonso, which was in another team. And also we had a problem with Michael, which blew the engine on this track and lost the championship also because of that. But anyway, I think it was a great race for me. I mean, start on pole, finish second, but also it was a great race to fighting for the victory as well.
What would finishing in the same order mean this year?
I think it would have been fantastic, you know, to finish again, first and second. As a team is definitely fantastic, perfect, and it would have been also the best result for me this year. So looking forward to that, but also looking forward to fight for the pole position and also for the victory as well.
One circuit is now part of the history of Formula One, whereas the other one is a newcomer to the calendar. What could be the strengths and weaknesses of the F2012 on these 2 tracks?
Well, I think our car can be competitive in Suzuka because our car is good in the high-speed corners. We were competitive in the Silverstone, for example, which is a lot of high-speed corners, and it's not so far away the direction at Silverstone to Suzuka in terms of car, in terms of downforce and everything, the way you need to prepare the car. Maybe Korea a little bit different, but I think, you know, looking forward that we can be more competitive in most of the tracks now, and for sure every race is very important now to the team, to Fernando, to the points, to me as well, to my results. So we need to concentrate and trying to be as competitive as possible every track.
What strikes you about the culture of these two countries? Is there a dish or something to see that you particularly liked?
Well, I love Japan. Japan is a place that I really enjoy. I love the people. I love the way they live. The education is so amazing. I mean, they're always very educated with you everywhere you go. I love Japanese food, so I like to eat Japanese food in many other countries as well. But when you go to Japan, it's always a great feeling. You know, it's fantastic to go there and to eat the real Japanese food as well. So I always enjoy a lot to go to Japan and to Tokyo as well. And Korea is a place that we don't really know very well. I mean, I know Seoul but for a few hours. I mean, I was there one evening, you know, and I know the place for a few hours. The place we stay is the little town close to the track, and we just concentrate on the race. I mean, don't go to any other place around the town. We just eat on the track, you know, stay there for the race, and so I don't have experience enough to comment, you know, about Korea. But Seoul looks really an interesting place, big, and I hope I can have a little bit more time there now, maybe in the future.
There are still plenty of question marks over the future of many drivers in the F1 circus. What feeling does one experience as such an uncertain season draw to an end? How much can waiting to find out what the future holds after a driver's performance?
Well, I think for sure the result is the most important thing in everything I do. So the future is definitely important, but I think the result, I mean, the concentrate every race, trying to do the best you can, is the most important thing. So I know what I'm able to do, I know all my talents, and I know what I can give to the team, and the team knows as well, because I'm not here since one day or 1 year. I'm here since a long time already, and looking forward to carry on, you know, doing a good result, working for the best on the track, and I think that's the right direction to be even not worry about the future.
From the test in Mugello, how much has changed on the F 2012? And could there be some more key turning points?
Well, the car is changing completely a lot after Mugello, so we know how important it is to developing the car. We did a lot of development. We were always looking forward to developing more the car. It happens as well, some race that we couldn't use pieces which we brought on the track, new pieces, and we know how important is that. We know that we need to work on the car from every race until the last race, and we know how important is the job, and we also know that maybe the job is making 1 point more, 1 point less, or even more than that. So we know that is very important for us, so we concentrate on that, and I hope we can improve the car in the right direction even more compared to what we did until now.
Filippo Petrucci, test team manager, explains how one prepares for a Formula One test, from the logistics side to the contribution of the drivers involved, in a race against a very small amount of time available for testing in the latest Formula One rules.
How do you prepare a test session on track?
Okay, a test session is quite a huge organization, because it involves a lot of person, a lot of material. There is a quite complicated preparation for the car. The car for the testing generally is a lot more instrumented respect to how it is during the race, where the car obviously must be as light as possible. So first of all, when we prepare a test, the first things to do is to put together all the requests from all the departments. So what are they needing from everybody, what every department needs to test, and do a program of the test. Obviously we have to split in all the the things to test, we have to divide and choose which are the one with the highest priority, which obviously needs to be tested, and which are the lowest priority, which if there is time, spare time during the session day, will be tested. So generally first we do a program of the test, and then what happens is that we have to prepare all the personnel which has to follow the test. So we have to choose which engineers has to follow the test. Obviously sometimes it can depend also from the kind of test we do, because as we know there are different typologies of testing. One is the normal session of testing where we do performance testing, and then we've got the possibility to do aero testing. Obviously in the aero testing there are a lot more aerodynamics involved into these tests. So when we have to decide how many persons we have to bring to the test, generally is between 30 and 60-70 persons for a test session, depending on the program of the test. And then we have to, at this point when the personnel has been decided who will follow the test, we have to prepare all the logistic part of the test. So we have to involve our logistic department to make the reservation for the flights, to make the reservation for the car, to rent the cars to move in the area where we test. We have to book the hotels, we have to prepare everything to be ready there. And then we have also the logistic part of to move all the material that needs to be on track and to move the cars. And so when everything is together, generally 3 days, couple of days before the test, all the material leaves, and 2 days before the test, the personnel leaves to go on the track to prepare everything for the testing day.
How much influence the external factor have on a testing day?
Obviously it is very important. The two main items I would say is the temperature, which may have a big influence into the ambient temperature. We can have a big influence first to the temperature of the liquids of the car, so on water and oil temperature, and then the track temperature, which obviously involves makes a big difference into the tires. Then we've got also the wind, so the wind speed, the wind direction, the change of wind direction, which especially into the aerial testing it may be a very big issue. So in any case we've got on the car some pitot tubes which will give us the real speed of the car on the wind, not compared to the real speed on the ground. And then we can also measure the direction of the wind. So in any moment the car is along the circuit, we know in which direction the wind is hitting our car.
How much precise is and how much reliable is driver's feedback during a test?
Obviously the driver is the first feedback we got out in the testing day. As we know, we've got a lot of instrumentation on the car, we've got data acquisition, and we've got the real-time telemetry, which is transmitting to the engineers all the data while the car is running. So when the car is running, we've got a first idea of what is happening, but obviously the feedback of the driver is always the most important thing, because one is the theoretical way that the car should be. Something different is the way that the driver wants the car to be. So depending from the driving style of the driver, you may have the request from the driver to have the car set in a way that is not exactly what theoretically it should be. So obviously the feedback of the driver is always very important.
So what happens if one new solution as a result from an engineering point of view and a different opinion from the driver?
It's always a different choice to do. Obviously when there is something that is clearly a better solution, it's very difficult that also for the driver it is not. So generally when something is easily visible that is a lot better than what you had before, generally the comment of the driver is very similar. There are situations in which there is a very small increase of the performance of the car, and maybe the driver has got a worse feeling. So the driver is pushing to go in one direction, the data push in the other direction, so generally you have to choose which way you have to take.
In the section dedicated to the Formula One alphabet, along with Scuderia Ferrari technicians, today we discovered the meaning of words: blistering, ERS, jumpstart, and telemetry.
Blistering is a phenomena is that the contents of compound which including the low volatile constitute boiled in the rubber, then it makes a bubble in the rubber. Then finally that bubble break the surface of rubber, then blistering is happen. When the car is going to, for example, Monza, so very high temperature and high speed course, so tire temperature is very high. Then contents of low volatile constitute is boiled because of that heat. When we have the blistering on the tires, so usually the tire performance is getting worse. So then we have to avoid that phenomena. The way to avoid the phenomena is that, for example, making much bigger contact patch, and also, for example, less negative camber helps the tire temperature. So setting for tire are very crucial for blistering.
ERS stands for Energy Recovery System. This is a system that will be used in 2014 in the Formula One car to generate energy in the car and use it as boost when the car needs it. Normally this can be done at the moment already with the curves in the car in 2012, where during braking there are some electric generators that generate electric energy that is stored in a battery and then used later. In 2014, with the ERS, we will be able to recover energy not only from braking, but also, for example, attaching a generator to a turbo compressor, or just using burning fuel to generate energy directly and storing it in the battery.
You know that the normal start is when all the red lights expires, but if you start before that happen, you get the jump start. So when you get the jump start, you will get for sure a penalty, and normally the penalty is a drive-through, and then you have to pay the penalty crossing the control line no more than twice. So pay attention.
Telemetry is our way how to get data and information from the car to the pits. We have a control unit here. This unit collects all the information on the car that is available, converts it into a radio signal like you are used at home with your wireless LAN, and transmits it from the car to the garage. Now the car moves around while this happens, so this is not so easy. We have a system which we share with other teams where repeaters all around the circuit pick up the information to make sure that we don't have a blind spot. The data effectively come into the unit here, are converted into radio signal, leave the radio signal on this antenna connector, and then we've got a tiny little antenna that sticks out of the car here and transmits the data to the garage. What type of data are we speaking about? We are speaking about all the sensor information on the car. We are speaking about all the status information of the car. We are speaking about how the car, the engine and everything sees the world at the moment and wants us to know. What are the data used for? The data are used for diagnostics, so we know exactly what the car is doing at the moment, or if there's a problem, what the problem is before the car comes in. We can prepare already interventions when the car comes in, and we can already prepare changes to the setup of the car because we know how the car behaves at the very moment. Being a wireless transmission, there is obviously the risk that some disturbances can interrupt our link. This is not a too big problem because we keep a copy of the data on the car. The only thing we lose in this case is the immediate response. Are we speaking about a lot of data or just a few data? We are speaking about a lot of data. We are speaking about something in the order of gigabytes over the course of a weekend that permanently come from the car to the garage.
Scuderia Ferrari Racing News will be back in October with the latest news from Maranello.